The steak and ale pie is one of those pies that is perfect to make this time of year when it's a little bit chilly outside. Many different ways to make it, but I'm going to show you how to make it with a hot water crust pastry. This pastry is very robust, very forgiving, and it holds up well to this particular type of pie. We're going to pack it full of some beautiful steak. So let's get making a winter wonder, one of my favorite pies, the steak and ale, an absolute classic back in Old England. Right, let's get making it. So when it comes to the beef, don't buy that boneless beef that's already been chopped up. You know, the stewing beef that you get at the supermarket. If you can, go out the back of the supermarket or your butcher's and ask them for a whole piece like this. This is a bottom blade roast. So basically just behind the shoulder blades. Anything in that top end of the animal is really good for braising. So a whole piece like this, and we can cut off some bigger chunks and braise them so we get a much nicer color. So that's a good little way to get more out of your pie rather than just getting those little bits.
So we've got this lovely bottom blade roast. Just going to cut it up into some nice chunks. Try and keep it roughly the same width as you're cutting it off into some manageable pieces. This is going to be lovely in the final product. Okay, once I've got that, set that aside and we're going to coat it in some flour, just regular flour, nice bit of salt, nice bit of pepper, and then take your beef one by one and just dab it so it gets a lovely coating. Shake off any excess and keep all that flour. We are going to use that later on. Okay, now we're going to finally chop up a large onion. Just take off the ends there and give it a nice little slice up. It doesn't need to be ultra fine. If it's a little bit rough, that's fine. It's going to braise for a long time. So just give it a nice little chop up. Then we're also going to need 2 sticks of celery. Top and tail it, save all that for your stock. Cut it in half again, and then just cut it into 3. And we're just going to dice this up. It doesn't need to be perfect. Chunky is fine. That is the joy of this pie. And then we're going to get 2 carrots, top, tail them, give them a nice little peel. A speed peeler is your friend here. You can just fly through all the prep. You can freeze any trimmings and use it for stock. All we're going to do with this, we're just going to cut this in half, cut this into some nice little batons, and then just dice it. Nothing too fancy at all. Okay, set all this aside. Now we're going to need some herbs. Get a bit of string and a lovely bunch of thyme. You can use rosemary, all different types of herbs. All we're going to do is just tie it up so we have a nice little bunch. This just helps you out later so you're not picking them all out one by one. Keep the string long as well because that will help you fish this out later. And to this, we're going to add 2 bay leaves, and that is all your veg prep done. Now, an optional step, you can add a couple of rashers of bacon. I like it, just gives it a nice background flavor. Just roughly dice that up. So let's get cooking this. We want to heat up our pot to about a medium heat, add in some nice olive oil, and then start browning off the beef. Don't get it too hot. We don't want to burn it. We want this color, that lovely golden brown. Add more oil if you need to. Once you've seared off all the pieces of beef and you have a lovely color all over, set that aside. Then we're going to add in our bacon. That's going to bring the temperature down a little bit in the pan and deglaze everything with a lovely fat from that bacon. Once it's all crispy, get a slotted spoon, take that out and set that on top of the beef. Then we're going to add in all our vegetables, a lovely seasoning of salt, and then we're just going to cook this down for about 15 minutes or so until it shrinks to a nice little volume like this. You can see how much it's come down. Then we're going to squeeze in 2 cloves of garlic. That's completely optional. Get that in, cook that out for a minute or 2. And generally go in the Worcestershire sauce. Or is it Worcester sauce? How do you say it? Let me know. And then put all your flour in that you saved and about 2 or 3 tablespoons more. Cook that out until it's all incorporated, and then squeeze in a couple of tablespoons of really good tomato puree. Mix that through for a minute or 2 and then add in your ale. I've gone with a lovely blonde ale, about 400 mils. You can use Guinness, anything you want. The darker the beer, the darker the stew. Then add 500 mils of stock of your choice. I'm using dark brown chicken stock. You can use beef as well. Yes, you can use stock cubes as well, not a problem. Okay, start adding your beef back in with all the juices that have come out while you've been resting it. Put in the bay leaves and your thyme and bring this all back up to the boil. And as soon as you get it up to the boil, turn it down to a simmer, lid on, and we're going to let it simmer for about 2 to 3 hours. Now for our pastry, you need 200 mils of water and 150 grams of lard. I'm using Mangalista lard here, Lenti premium indeed. Get that on the stove and melt it and get it boiling. Then you need 400 grams of all-purpose flour, 100 grams of bread flour, and about a teaspoon or so of salt. Mix that through. Once your liquid is all boiling on the stove, your liquid and your fat, pour that all over. Look at that. Then you're going to mix that through with a wooden spoon until it's a nice shaggy mess. Let it cool down for a minute or two before we fully knead this out. You can, if you've got some chef hands, work it a little bit like this, but it is going to be pretty hot. So just give it a minute or two, turn it out on your board or your surface, and we're just going to bring it together and squeeze it and knead it. Once it's all come together, give it a little dough spank. 1 or 2, your choice, and then cut out 2/3 for the bottom and 1/3 for the top. Wrap that all up in cling film, get it in your fridge for an hour or 2. Now let's check on our stew. That is looking very nice indeed. The beef is super tender. Look at that, it's just falling apart. You might be tempted to eat this at this stage, trust me, it is delicious. Take all the bay leaf and thyme out. You can see it's easy now because it's all tied together. And I'm going to take about 200-300 mils at least of this liquor to make a gravy. Do it this way in a sieve into a bowl. That way you can dump all the contents back into your stew and keep all that liquid for gravy for later. So it's about a good 250-300 mils there. Then we're going to add a little slurry, a teaspoon of cornstarch with some water, which is going to help thicken up the final pie filling. Add a bit of salt and pepper, and then just mix it through and turn off the heat, and that is done. Okay, now we're going to put that into a container. Add a bit of cling film on the top of the surface, get it in your fridge and make sure it's cool completely, preferably overnight, but a couple of hours at a pinch. You can use all different type of pie tins to cook your pie in. The classic one, a springform one like this, or even these cute little mini ones. I'm going to go with the springform today and do a massive pie. Butter it well, all around the corners and edges, add some flour, get it all mixed around, and that's just going to help you with the final product. It will not stick, trust me on this one. Tap out the excess flour. Now we're just going to roll out the bottom of the pastry. Make sure you take it out of the fridge. Let it come to room temperature for 20-30 minutes. It will just make it more pliable. Like I said, this is a very forgiving dough. If it rips, don't worry about it. As soon as you have a nice overhang of a few inches either side of your tin, roll it to about 3 mils. Get it on a rolling pin like this. Roll it back carefully. If it rips, no problem. And just get it in your cake tin. Now don't worry about this. Take your time. If it looks a bit shaggy and a bit messy, don't worry. It's all going to work out, I promise you. This pie is a rustic thing of beauty. Rip off a piece of excess dough and use it to push your pastry against the walls of the cake tin and all the corners. Make sure you get it in everywhere quite nicely. Any holes, just patch them up with the excess dough. Then get a fork and dock the bottom. That just means put some little holes in. And then start putting your filling in. I like to rip up a bit of the beef on the bottom and then add bigger pieces. Get all the rest of that gravy and everything else in there. You can see how thick the mixture's gone. Okay, flatten it all out with the back of a spoon. Make sure it's all even. Get that in the fridge while we roll out the top. Okay, so same thing before. Flour your surface. Roll it out to the same thickness as the pie base. I think I did about 3 or 4 mil. About the size of like a pound coin or a toonie. Same as before, over the rolling pin, but this time we're going to egg wash the rim of the pie, drape it over. And then all we want to do is just push it down with the back of the hand. You can use a bit of excess dough as well if you've got it. Use your thumb, push up against the edge of the cake tin just to make sure everything's sealed, and then cut off any excess dough just like this. Don't throw that away, save it, and then pinch it again to make sure it's all sealed. You can use a fork too, by the way, if you don't want to do this step. And if you want to crimp it, you can crimp it too. Just crimp it like this towards the actual base of the pie. So it's a bit easier when you open it up. And then egg wash this once at this stage. I like to put that in the fridge for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to roll out the trimmings and be artistic. Do whatever you want at this stage. I'm going to have a go at doing some leaves. It's been a while since I've done this, so they may not look like leaves, but who knows. That looks not too bad. Flatten that with the palm of your hand, arrange it however you like on the pie. Then we're going to egg wash them, that helps it stick to the pie, and then decorate just like you would a normal leaf, or whatever artistic interpretation you would like. Don't egg wash the top, you'll just basically cover your design if you do that. I'm going to egg wash all the sides and the rim, and I'm going to put this back in the fridge for another 10 minutes. I'll show you why. Now we're going to get the oven to 400 Fahrenheit and put a tray in there to warm up for about 10 minutes. This is just going to help with the base of the pie so it gets nice and golden brown and crispy. If you want to be extra at this stage, you can add some thyme leaves, black pepper, or anything else you want to, completely optional. Get this in the oven. We're going to bake it at 400 Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes to start with. Then I'm going to drop the oven to 375 for about 45 minutes. After that, crank it back up to 400 for about another 20 or 25 minutes. If your oven goes to 390, mine doesn't, keep it at that all the way for about an hour and 20. So in total, I cooked this for about an hour and a half, and as you can see, that is beautiful. Let this sit in the tin for 15 to 20 minutes before you do anything. Okay, it's been about 15-20 minutes. Pop it open, and it should just come off in one go, just like this. And look at that beautiful pie.
Oh.
Carefully slide it off, or you could cut it on the tin too, but I'm going to cut it on the board to show you. I mean, just look at this. This smells amazing. That is a thing of beauty. Put that on a table on a Sunday. Oh, people are going to be happy. Okay, get a serrated knife, cut through, and I find the serrated helps a bit so it doesn't destroy the pastry. I'll flip this around to show you. Just look at this pie, absolutely glorious. Take out a nice little piece and look at that, my friends. Steak and ale pie. The beauty of that chunky bits of beef like that as opposed to the small little ones. Absolutely glorious. Get it on a plate, bang on some mashed potato if you want, and that gravy that we reserved from earlier. Look at that steak and ale pie, one of the best in the world.
Now that is one of the all-time greatest pies. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite pie is. The steak and ale is pretty damn good. Massive, massive bits of steak. Cheers. Beautiful tender chunks of beef. Yeah, really rich gravy. And the pastry is just crispy and crumbly. The OG pastries in medieval times in England, this is the pastry that was used basically to wrap up all kinds of big, large formats of meats and stuff. Crispy, crumbly. The lard takes it to another level. Steak and ale pie, absolute belter. Oh, what an absolute treat. Okay, as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm going to enjoy this for my dinner. Pastry is so good.